Oscar season is here. Kinda, not really. Sorta. It's at least time to we can talk about it a little bit. Hello everybody, welcome to Film Fireside. I'm calling this early predictions. It's not so early anymore because it's August, but I started this back in June for what it's worth. We're only talking about Best Picture because I haven't seen any of these films, obviously, so I feel like any other category is a little early to try and predict anything. This is just kind of a for fun thing. I try not to do any of these prediction things until I've at least seen most of these films, because I feel like I have a better grasp on some things, or I feel like most people now are just kind of grasping at straws. And we are, and that's what I'm gonna do, and that's kind of fun to just kind of grasp at straws and just see if we snag a few. Because there's some that I feel like are still pretty obvious, regardless of the fact that I haven't seen it, I feel fairly confident in it though. So yeah, I'm gonna put it there. I would say my top 5, I would feel more, well, the ones that I'm I don't think it's gonna be leaving this list is 1 and 2. Babylon and Fabelmans. I try to do this in order of likelihood, but I don't know. I'm honestly, I'm looking at this again being some could. There are others that could and couldn't. So the top 2, we have Babylon, directed by Damien Chazelle, and looks like a blast. So of a movie. I mean, looks like a blast. Sounds like a blast. I haven't seen anything about it yet. Sounds like it's gonna be a blast. We have Fabelmans. That's probably my top for Best Picture at this point. A biopic about, or a semi-true story about Steven Spielberg as a child in post-war Arizona. Are you joking me? The Oscars are gonna lose their minds about that. Everything after this though, it's just kind of fun. I don't have much to comment on these, except you've seen a few of these at some film festival lineups with Venice and TIFF and whatnot and what have you. There's more that I could put on here, honestly, if I really wanted to. And that's actually kind of why I'm doing it this year, doing this early prediction things. It's a stacked year, and that's kind of fun. That's exciting. There are a lot of movies I'm really stoked for. And already in 2022, might I add, I have seen some films that I've given just for myself 10 out of 10 scores to. And there's just so many more great films to come. So this is gonna be a good year. I'm feeling good about this award season, just the films in general this year. I've already been super happy about. There's a few I want to comment on. I have Bardo from the Netflix film as number 10. I used to have that as Rustin, but I guess I only learned this fairly recently. I guess that's not being released this year now, which is weird. Well, yeah, the other one that's not being released this year either is Killers of the Flower Moon, which that one's weird because I thought it was going to TIFF. I don't know how this works, because I don't know if it's they announced it and then after the fact they're yeah, we're not gonna be ready. Let's pull it back. We'll push it back a year. Maybe that's what it is. I guess we'll see if anything else comes out about that. But I would have had both Rustin and Killers of the Flower Moon on here. Let's talk about Netflix for a minute, because that's something I'm excited about this next award season. So Netflix has had kind of a crummy year. They've lost over 1 million subscribers already in 2022. The economy in general has been just garbage this year, but Netflix particularly seems to be very much suffering from it. And I don't know why, because most people I know are fine with Netflix. So I'm not too sure what exactly happened with Netflix just losing all credibility this year. But they're losing credibility. I always give Netflix a hard time for the fact that everyone trying to predict Oscar nominees or Best Picture nominees on Gold Derby are throwing 7 Netflix films on there. I am gonna go out on a limb here, just based on how things are going. We'll have to see maybe how the third quarter is for them, if that makes a difference. I only see 1 getting nominated this year. And quite frankly, I'm actually wondering if the decision to push Rustin back to the next year was they may have had 2 planned for this year to get nominated, and they're deciding they want to give 1 specific attention, because they want them both to get nominated. They don't want Rustin to suffer from the fact that they're Netflix, the company, isn't doing well. So I'm wondering if that's why the decision was made to push it back. I have done 0 research as to why they decided to push it back, so that might mean nothing. Yeah. Other thing I want to talk about, if you look at number 14, you will see Everything Everywhere All at Once. I want Everything Everywhere All at Once so badly to be nominated for Best Picture. It would make my life just so amazing. I don't know if A24 was necessarily planning on making that their Best Picture nomination like pushing that for awards necessarily. Maybe not necessarily in the best picture category, the technical category and like editing and cinematography and whatnot, absolutely. But best picture, was that their main goal? I don't know. And here's a couple things with A24 that's interesting this year. So there are a few A24 films coming out, and some that will even be featured at TIFF. One that I'm particularly excited about is The Whale. I don't know if the Academy Awards are ready to give the Best Picture nomination to a film that includes a fight scene where dildos are the weapons. I don't know. Maybe I'm viewing the Academy Awards too pretentious. I don't know. But the fact that it was released early doesn't mean anything to me other than A24 wasn't planning on pushing it. You know what I mean? They weren't there. It doesn't seem to me they're trying to campaign this necessarily. So that's all it really means. Could it still win Best Picture? Yeah, absolutely. I have it on here still. And I have it kind of near the top because I really want it to, but I think like if I'm speaking of like likeliness right now, I don't think that's like the most likely. Time will tell though. We'll have to see how well it's received. I mean, it's already like being re-released again. One thing that will be telling, I kind of think I need to see The Whale first beforehand. And that's another thing too. A24 has had a stacked year. They're doing great too this year. So I guess the question I'm getting at is, since A24 has had like a very, very good year and Netflix hasn't, could A24 be the studio that sneaks in 2 nominations this year? You know? Could be. That would be kind of cool. I would love to see 2 A24 films get nominated. They've already had one that's actually like won Best Picture. Moonlight, right, was an A24 film. I'm pretty sure it was an A24 film. Regardless, though, A24 is a great studio, and it's done nothing but grow and become better and better and better as time has gone on. And film junkies and just people in the industry alike recognize A24 as a very serious studio now. So I have hope. It would be so awesome to see Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Whale get nominated. We'll have to see. You're going to see Wild and Wendell from Netflix on this list. It's an animated film. It's a, not Tim Burton. We give Tim Burton credit for Nightmare Before Christmas, but that's not who directed it. I called it Wild and Wendell. It's Wendell and Wild. That's funny. Henry Selick. Henry Selick is directing this film. It's another like kind of claymation thing. I don't know. It might just be like a Corpse Bride kind of thing. Key and Peele are in it as well. So it seems like a fun, let's get that duo back together. I think it's been too long since we've seen an animated picture get nominated for Best Picture. Animated films are still, I think, just so underrated. They're cash grabs to a certain extent. Like, you know, Disney Plus, they're kids love them, so therefore they make a lot of money, yada, yada, yada. But even like that aside, they're great pieces of art. I'm just ready for another year where an animated picture or an animated film gets nominated for Best Picture, because they deserve it. I really do think they do. Yes, they have their own category, but I mean, we're nominating foreign films for just Best Picture of the Year too. I mean, which we should keep doing. But why don't we throw some animated movies in there too? I think. I don't know. I just think it's time. So I'm putting that in there because I want animated movies to be nominated. Okay, I have a number 28 one. I want to talk about this. I have Weird, the Al Yankovic story, on here. I know. Okay, I know. But let's just play with this for a minute. Weird Al Yankovic. Let's talk about his career. He has made a career in parody songs and just comedy songs in general. What better thing for a parody artist who parodies music artists to do than to parody the music artist's biopic? I mean, we've seen Bohemian Rhapsody, we've seen Respect, we've seen Rocket Man, we've seen Elvis. It's just such a thing right now, and it's so Oscar baity, and it's so funny that it's so Oscar baity, and I just think it's so funny that he is like just landing that opportunity to now make fun of it. And I'm not exactly certain how this is going to be, but all things suggest to me is this is intended to kind of make fun of the biopic, not necessarily like actually do a biopic of Weird Al. Because if you read about his life, he had a nice family, learned to play the accordion, and watched Dr. Demento. And I don't know. I mean, he has more, obviously there's more interesting than that, and you could spin a cool story. Anyone making it in this industry is a cool story. But like the struggle, the like Rocky Man, he had drugs and he was gay, and Elvis had his stupid manager. You know, there's like the fights to make it, and there's like something along with that in their life that you can make like a cool story about. My hope is that they're gonna make fun of this and make it a thing where Weird Al has to conquer whatnot, what have you. I don't know if you've seen this, but like there's it's like Funny or Die. There's a little like Funny or Die sketch where this was from back in 2010, by the way. 2010. The only musical artist biopics that I was aware of at that time was like Walk the Line about Johnny Cash, and maybe, I don't know, That Thing You Do. I know That Thing You Do isn't a biopic, I'm just kidding. If they go that same route and make it a little more like fleshed out, the Weird Al Yankovic story could be a great commentary on just kind of like the industry's obsession with biopics right now. It has potential is what I'm saying. Essentially what I'm getting at is it has potential. Would the Academy give a rat's ass about it? Probably not. But they could, because it's gotten a lot of hype and a lot of people are excited about it. So it could. It is going to be featured at TIFF this year. It's like the opening film, like kind of how Dear Evan Hansen was at TIFF last year, and Dear Evan Hansen didn't get jack squat at the Academy Awards. So therefore, we should assume the same thing about Weird, the Al Yankovic story, but a boy can dream. A Weird Al loving boy can dream. That's all I have to say about this right now. It's a stacked year. There's some amazing films coming out this year. And every year there's always some last minute contenders that could just kind of pop out of nowhere, and we won't know that until it's closer too. So another reason why I don't like actually predicting until the time is, but we'll have to see. Wouldn't it be really cool is if like 6 months from now or whenever, it's February when they announce the nominations, I think it's whenever they announce the nominations. Wouldn't it be so funny if the 10 that they nominate are on this list? This is my top 10. That'd even be better. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Bye-bye. What? Why? What? Where did that come from?